Hi, I'm Chris Burrows from Fairhaven Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I want to show you today how to set up Proclaim to show something different on two separate monitors. Okay, why might you want to do that? Well, let me show you what we have going at currently. Okay, so in the center of the screen, you see the main controls, but then on the left monitor, you see what the congregation might want to show. We show this usually on big screens in front of the church, but the right monitor is set up now so that the same information can be in a smaller format to be keyed over your live stream, so that the people online see something a little different. They can see the information, but they can also see what the service is showing. Okay, so let me show you how we do that. Okay, so I'm going to take you into Proclaim first so we can see Proclaim. And here we are. So here we are inside Proclaim. And there's a few things you need to set up first before you can do that. Okay, our main goal is to have two separate things. So right now I'm showing you the slides panel, and then I also have a screen set up for what we call the lower third. But when you first start Proclaim, you won't get that lower third screen there. It only starts with slides, then these other ones that you have. So let me show you how we get to that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to where it says Settings, and we're going to pick Display. Okay, now in Display, the top one that we have there, there's a section up here that says Virtual Screens and a section that says Outputs. Okay, now virtual screens are the ones that are on your computer, what you actually see. So it comes with the slides, it comes with confidence, it comes with notes, but it doesn't come with the lower thirds. And so what you would have to do is hit Add Virtual Screen, and then you would name it Lower Thirds, and you'd set it up to be 16 by 9 or whatever it is that you want it to be. Okay, and then that still doesn't send it to your monitors yet. So then you got to figure out how you're going to set up your monitors. Well, display 0 is my left monitor, then I have 2 is my center monitor, and 3 is my right monitor in this case. And notice how each one has something in blue. So you can click on that little blue thing, and you can pick what you want to show on that monitor. So on my left monitor, I have the slides. On my center monitor, I clicked Not Use because I want that to stay my controls. I don't want anything else showing up on there. And then my right monitor, I clicked and I chose Lower Thirds down there at the bottom. Okay. And I'm not using an NDI display, but if I was, I'd want it to show the lower thirds in this case. Okay, so there you go. And then you can also choose how big the and where messages would go out over those monitors if you send them out. Okay, then you just close that. And now we're ready to start setting it up. Okay, so how do you set it up? How do I get it so that what I see on my main monitor is different from what I see on my other monitor? Okay. Oh, there's one other thing that we need to fix. Underneath settings again, back to display. On this lower thirds monitor, okay, I'm going to click this little gear. And now the lower thirds one will have a transparent background. You're not going to have a background on that. And so how do I want that transparency to look? So it says output transparency color. Do I want it to be black so I can key it with a luminance keyer, or do I want it to be green or blue so I can key it with a chroma keyer? I'm going to pick green on my case. So even though it'll look like it's clear when we're working on it, when I go to display it, it will have that green background. Okay, close that. Okay, so now, how do we set these up? Okay, the way that you set up your slides now is kind of cool. One important thing is that you want to get it so that you don't have to change the information on both slides. Now, notice how, for example, I'm on this slide now. It says Praise and Worship, and the top one is the title for Praise and Worship. The bottom one is the praise team that's performing this week or next week, let's say. But let's say I wanted somebody else to be performing, or change the name of who's performing for the following week. I could put in Fox 1. That's our Voices of Harmony group down there. And then notice how it changed it here. And it should be changing it on the Yeah, it changed it right there on the lower third one as well. So all I had to do is change it on one slide, and it fixed it on both of them. Yeah, and that's the nice thing about the way these are set up. They're what we call smart media. So how do you do that? How do you get it so the text will say this? Will say the same. Something cool too is that when you're using smart media for like songs and stuff, even though so I'm going to come down here to one of the songs. Okay, and it looks like this on the main slide. It looks like this on the lower third slide. The songs automatically update and fill properly. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to show you my all the screens at the same time. So on this view, you have the top left is my left monitor, top right is my right monitor, and the main one there. Okay, so I'm going to go into go on air, and I go on air. Come down to one of my songs. Okay, for example here, and notice how even with the songs, the information that you see is different. Okay, it's formatted differently, and all you gotta do is change the song title. Okay, let me go into edit so you can see what I'm talking about. So I choose edit. All I would do is change the name of the song, and it would automatically update and fix all those words on all the screens. And that's kind of cool. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so let me come off of on air. I'm going to get it back so you can see me full screen. Okay, and then we're going to go into well, I'm going to click on something at the beginning here. Okay, and then how do we make these screens so that the text works properly? Well, you go into where it says media, and you create what's called smart media, and then it gives you some options. Which one are you wanting to create? Well, a song, a Bible verse, announcement, content, or a header. In this case, I want to do a header. So I'm going to click on header. I click choose, and it gives me a screen already set up. Now, if I click on this top one, this top information goes with that. This bottom one, the bottom information goes with that. Okay, so I'm going to click the top one. It has a hint text. Well, this is going to be usually your order of service. In my case, I'm going to type in order. Oops. Type properly. Order of service. And then the bottom one is usually going to be the person that's doing it. Okay, so person presenting. Okay. So, for example, what's one of the orders of service? Usually the offering. So let's say offering for that order of service. And for this one down here, person presenting, let's say Elder Smith. Okay, and there you have it. But notice how there is no background here. So this is for the main slide. I'm going to want to have a background usually for the one I showed to the congregation. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to choose background. I'm going to just pick blue for that. I could later on, have imported a background or gotten some media from the media bank, but I'm just going to click the blue background. Now we can alter our text and make them look a certain way. So let's go. Click on the offering one, and bold is fine. I could turn bold off if I want. How do I want it centered? Okay, well I want it to be in the center of the box that's there. So I'm going to put this box. Is it up? What color do I want it? Well, white is fine, but let's try something just to be creative right now. Let's just try yellow. Okay. Okay, what about effects? Okay, right now it's got this outer kind of glow. I'm not too keen on that one, so I'm going to turn that off. But I'm going to use what traditionally we would use called a drop shadow. Put a little drop shadow in there. I could edit the drop shadow, and make it a little darker or bigger or whatever. The direction that is coming from, and change, just fix it, make it look a little different. Now let's try 300. Okay, don't really see it there. It's only 3 pixels. Let's try 5 pixels. Okay, not seeing much of it, not much of a change, but you can alter it, make it a little bit bigger there. Okay. And then possibly you might want to have an outer stroke sometimes. Okay, and you can also edit what color that outer stroke is as well. Okay, or I could have just picked one of these styles and had to go to one of those styles. Let's see if I picked breezy, it would automatically go to that style. Okay, I'm gonna hit Control Z to undo that style. Okay, and then well, I already showed you backgrounds. Let me just pick the color, but I could have picked a foreground, or I could have added another text. Okay, or I could have added a foreground. Okay. Now it says add smart text. So let me see what happens if I click that. I'm going to add a text box here. And notice what happens is I got another text box, and this text box is another smart one, so it will carry over and do things. I can size it over here. Okay, I could choose to center that smart text there. Okay, and maybe this one is going to be a let's see. I'm not sure I'm going to say anything about it, but let's have the name of the church. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to put that in the actual text in this case, and I'm going to shrink it down. That's not really crucial to have that big. But right there might be nice. Okay, something like that. Okay, so I'm ready now. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to give it a title. Test title 2 for me, for example. Right now, I can say what it's doing, and I'm going to save it. Okay, and then it says go to media browser. So I click on go to media browser. Your browser pops up, and there it is right there. It's called test title 2, but it's not yet part of my service. So I'm going to hit add as new content item, and there it is, test title 2. Oh, but what happened? There's no words there. What's going on? The words are there, but the boxes for the words are there, but it's blank. So it's a template that you can utilize. Notice how the slides and the lower thirds look exactly the same right now. Lower thirds doesn't have any real controls, but the main slide one has the controls. So let's put the information back in there again, and you'll notice that when I put it in, it has the same formatting as what it did before. The person was Elder Smith, and then I could choose to put the church name there or not, but we'll go ahead and edit it. Okay, there we go. So this is cool. Look at lower thirds. The slide looks exactly the same. You couldn't even tell that I clicked the tab up there. But the slides look exactly the same. Okay, but now here's where the cool part comes. Okay, so yes, they look exactly the same, but I want my lower thirds to look different. First off, I don't want my lower thirds to have a background, so I'm going to click remove background. But notice that the slides stayed on there. Okay. Nextly, I don't need the Fairhaven Church one on this back one, so I could delete it from. Right click on it and choose delete from that one. Okay, but notice how it stayed on the front one. Okay, and then these obviously aren't going to need to be up that big, so I'm going to pull them down, make them smaller. And they're going to be down here somewhere different. Okay. Now, what about the background? I might want a different background or something different. Well, in this case, I don't want a background, I mean, unless it's a clear background. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and choose a foreground item. So I'm going to come up to here where it says add foreground image, and I'm going to not just add an image, but I'm going to choose browse the media, and I need to look for lower third, and I actually have one that I made. So I'm going to type in lower third, and there you go. Here's the one that I made myself. I just did it in Photoshop and make sure that was a PNG with a clear background. Okay, and then I'm going to now choose apply as foreground. Okay, I don't want to choose it as a background, because if I choose it as a background, it's stuck there. But if I choose it as a foreground, I can move it around. So I'm going to add to foreground. So I click on add to foreground. And there it is. Like I said, I can size it up, make it bigger, and interestingly enough, it is below the other object still. Okay, so I'm gonna put it down here in the corner. For this one, I want the person's name to be prominent, so I'm going to take the person's name and bring that up there. I'm going to take the actual thing it was, bring it down there, and now I just size these boxes to match the boxes that I'm trying to put them in. Right the corner. Corner. There it is. Slide this one up. And this one up. And notice how the formatting on it's a little different. I don't need them at the top, I want them down at the middle. So I'm going to go there and pick middle. So it's into the middle. And there you have it. Okay, actually we can probably bring this over. And there you go. Okay, so now the original slide looks one way, and the lower third looks another way. If I choose to, I can change this original slide's background now as well. So let's try that. Let's go to background. And this time I'm going to browse the media for a background this time. So I'm going to browse media. And I'm going to get rid of where it says lower thirds. And let's see what we have. Okay, now most of these are ones you got to pay for. But I think there's one I saw down here that was free. And let's see. Well, maybe this one's free. Yep, that one's free. Nope, you got to pay for that one too. But there was like a Christmas one I saw that was free. I guess I should say owned. Yeah, okay, yeah, so this one. We click on that one. And I'm going to choose apply as background. Okay, there we go. So that's the background. And we can bring this up. We can take Elder Smith's name up. And maybe put this one down at the bottom or in a corner or something like that. I'm just going to be smaller still. Okay, there we go. And check the lower third. Lower third still looks the way it does. Okay, and so that is ready to go. That slide is ready. Except the name of it changed over here. So let me click on the name. And this is I'm going to call it offering now. Now usually if I want to do another slide that has the same formatting as this, and I just want to change like out the person's name and what the title is, I would come over here to where it says the thing, and I would click duplicate, and then now that it's down here, I can change this out to what the next title is. So let's say the next thing in the service is prayer. Okay, and then up here I would just change from offering, I would change it to where it says prayer. And instead of Elder Smith, maybe this time it's Elder Jones. Okay, so Jones. And then I can check my lower third, and that is Elder Jones doing the prayer. Okay, so that is fine. Go back to the offering one, That's fine too. Okay, but now let's see how this looks on the big screen. Okay, so I'm going to go to I'll show you guys all of the screens. I'm going to come up to number 1. What's this? And I'm going to go on air. Okay, and there we go. So there's the praise and worship going on. Okay, now this middle screen that I have is called a confidence monitor. You know, when you're on air, you can pick this little arrow here, and you can choose what you should see in the center there. So I can see slides, or I could pick it and see what the lower thirds was showing. Okay, or I could come here and choose confidence monitor. Now, confidence monitor, this one you could project to the usually to the back of the auditorium, so the people up there, not only do they see the slide that's showing, but they also have a clock, and they have what the name of the slide is, so they know where it is in the order of service coming up. Okay, let's go through some of these, because here's the one we made. Okay, for the offering. Here's one we made for prayer, and then here are some of the ones that we're actually using in the service. Now, one of the cool things, like I said, is that when it comes down to monitors, you can make them look exact. You know, so right now, for example, these are some of the slides that we're using for the titles for the announcements. So the audience can see what's on the left monitor, or the one over here, and the people online can see this on what's on this right monitor, this one over here. Okay. I'll just show you how they look completely different, or have some similar elements to them, but they look completely different. And in this case, if you set them up properly, you just have to put your information in one time on one slide, and it'll update it on the other ones the same way. Okay, that should do it for today. So thank you for listening, and have a good rest of your day. Hi, I'm Chris Burrows, and I'm continuing the series of showing you how to put two separate things on your monitors using Proclaim, and working with the ATEM Mini, how to key it out and that kind of stuff. I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so to tell you what I'm talking about, I've got this praise and worship large screen, what the sanctuary is seeing there. But in the fellowship hall, online, they're also seeing the exact same thing. So in the ATEM Mini, I've got the exact same thing going to it, and we want to know, how can I show something different on the to the people that are in the there. Okay, well, to do that, there's a couple of settings you got to change first. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to settings, and I'm going to hit display. Okay, I want you to be able to see that screen a little bit better. So let me get so I can get a close-up of that screen for you. Okay, so notice how we've got the slides and the lower third set up, but they're not showing that way. So I've only got, on this computer, I only have two monitors. So the main one, the big one, I'm not using it to show anything. And right now, the second monitor, the little one, all I see is slides. And so I click on slides, and I switch that to lower third. Okay, and then I come over to my gear. And I know that right now, transparency is set up for black on the background, but I want it to be that fluorescent kind of green. So I click on that right there instead, and I hit save. Okay, and then I close that out. And then now I look and I see, okay, well, nothing's changed. I'm going to come back so you can see me. Okay, so on this, you can see on this side monitor that it still is just showing that same blue as the other one. It's not showing the other thing that's there. Okay, and so how do I get that? Well, I got to go off air and then come back on air. So I go off air, I come back on air, and now you see there is a difference in what the main monitor is seeing and then what the other one is seeing, and that what was clear in the background is showing up as green on here. And I just have to key out what's the green, so that people online will see it differently. Okay, so how do I key out the green? Okay, so I'm going to come back so you can see my my large monitor, and I'm going to open up the ATEM Mini controllers. So there's a software on your computer that has the ATEM Mini controls, and notice how here I can control my camera the same way I did with the other one. And I notice the camera 4 is the one that has the green on it. Okay, so I need to use camera 4. So I come over here to my keyer. Usually it starts out on Luma keyer, but I want to use the chroma keyer. So I click on chroma, and then the camera or the source that's going to have that I want keyed is camera 4. I could pick one of the other cameras, but camera 4 is the one that I want to have keyed. Okay, and so right now that's set up to work. I'm going to scroll down, and if the key wasn't good, I could click chroma sample, and I could actually click up a spot where on the screen I know the key is and have it pick the sample. But I know that this is a perfect key setup because of that color that it is. Okay, and I can adjust that key afterwards too. But I don't need to deal with any of that. All I have to do is come over here to where it says on air and click on air, and that will bring it up. Notice how it's keying over camera 4. Now, how would I do that if I don't have the software up? Well, on the ATEM Mini itself, so let me turn off air for right now. So I click the on air again and it turns it off. ATEM Mini itself, it's got these 6 keys, on the end down here, and one says key and it has off. If I click on the on button right above it, that's the one on the far left of the 6 keys, it brings it on. I can turn it off, I can turn it on, off and on. Okay. And what if I wanted to change the background? What if I want to see this image instead of the main image here? Well, I can on the ATEM Mini I can switch over to it. But notice that when I switch from one camera to the other, that I can turn it on, but it popped it off when I was doing the switch. It popped it off temporarily. Okay. And so whenever you switch from one camera back to the other, it will pop off the key. You have to just turn it back on again by hitting the on button. Okay. Well, so what's the advantage of that? Well, let's look and see. I'm going to lower the screen down so you can see it. Well, notice how people in the sanctuary will see this larger welcome and opening prayer, while people in the fellowship hall will see this other one. Okay. Now let's see how some of these might look different. Okay, so going on to my next presenter, notice how it switches. Okay, now here's a big one that's different. The tithe and offering. I have a big one for the sanctuary and a smaller one, not the one that you're seeing down there, for the people online. Okay, a couple different ones here. Kind of get some ideas of how they can look different, how you can set them up differently. Okay. Now, one of the key things, the special one especially, is the things like songs. Okay, so let's look at Marching to Zion. Notice how large screen, all colorful like that, and smaller screen there. We'll go through part of the verse. You can see the differences between them. Okay. And then let's scroll down and let's pick something like the sermon. So notice how the large screen one is quite a bit different from the smaller one that you see down there. Okay. And what about the Bible verse? Okay. Nice and big, so people in the audience can read it up here. But then look how attractive it looks in the smaller version that you see on your screen bottom down there. Okay. Now I decided that I'd give them some options as how they can do it differently. For the Bible verse, so I picked a second style format for the Bible verse. Okay, so here's one, and there's the other one that you're seeing down there right below me. Okay, and then when you don't want it on, I hit the off button, and it pops it off. Okay, if you want to bring it back again, the on button, and it's back on again. Okay. Now, like I said, one of the things you always have to watch is during the time in the story, time in the video, if there's something that comes in that has green in it, like this this little children one, you know, if there's a green on here that is close to the same color green that the key that's being keyed out, it may vanish. So notice how this green up by their feet is very close to the same color. So if I had the key on it, it is vanishing it out some. So I'm going to turn the key off, and in that case, we would want to go straight to the slide itself, which is number 4. So I hit that, and I hit auto, and now they have it. And that green is not being affected anymore by the keyer. Okay, it's just in case. I mean, it doesn't usually, it hasn't affected it that much. But when people were keying before using the Luma keyer, things like the blacks would vanish instead. So that's why the chroma keyer is a little better choice for this kind of thing. So it doesn't vanish out the blacks. You'll see through it to the background. Display, and let's come back down to the almost ready for the benediction. And I'm going to turn the keyer back on, and there we go. Okay, and that's the end of the service. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off, and I will say goodbye to you. Hopefully you've learned something, and hopefully this was useful for you. Have a good day.